Brodie. The first time I spoke to you was I think I met you at Torian Pro. No, before that. So we came to your gym in our early days of having the vlog, and we spent a day with you. So people, if you want to watch that vlog, you got to go back to the archives. It's one of our early ones. You get to see us hang out with Brodie when he was in Bathurst. And then you recently moved probably a year ago to Newcastle, and you purchased your own gym. So it was Raw Commando, and then it changed it to Freezing Hot CrossFit. And this year, you're going teams to Torian Pro instead of indies. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's been a while. I think I've caught up with you guys a couple of times, but yeah, all the way back from being in Bathurst, and it's been a big year and a bit. We kind of just ticked over 1 year as Freezing Hot CrossFit, but yeah, this year heading up as a team. It was one of, like, I suppose my goals as a gym to get to, whether it's like a regional competition or a sanctional competition as a gym, and kind of fly our flag a little bit more for our community side of things. I certainly didn't expect it to be this year. I think for myself, I was hoping, to get there individual and then either help qualify the team as well, because you could sort of do both sides, or sort of leave that team thing for the next few years. But yeah, after sort of getting my ass handed to me in the front squad a little bit, it kind of pushed me to into the team competition. And we sort of jumped into the qualifiers. A few of us kind of had a few little sort of niggling injuries in the quarterfinals for the team, but we ended up making it. I actually think it was kind of our girls kind of carried us through that. So us boys didn't do too much, but the girls were really strong. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the team experience. I don't generally enjoy team workouts or partner workouts, but I'm pretty keen for it.
So who is actually on your team? Like, I don't know the people on your team, so give us a rundown.
So the other male is Hayden Farrelly, and he's one of the coaches at our gym. He jumped in. One of our other boys hurt his knee in the quarterfinals individual, so he had to pull out, and then Hayden just jumped up, and he did a really good job in the quarters. He's kind of one of those guys who's like really good to have in a team. Every movement he can do. He's fairly strong. He's certainly not, and he'll tell you he's not the fittest bloke in the world, but he can do every movement and rips and tears. So he's really excited for it. And the two girls are kind of polar opposites. Caitlin Matushka is one, and she's just joined us from a gym on the Central Coast. Cardio freak, like will sit on a ski, road, bike, do wall balls for a week and a half, burpees all day, just like loves it. And the other girl, Brittany Carragher, she's just an absolute weapon on a barbell. She's like most weeks I squat with her, and sometimes I even have to take weight off for myself. So she's just freakishly strong, and she's a real weapon on the barbell.
Oh, awesome. Who was the guy who was originally on the team before Hayden had to step in?
Yeah, Jacob Murray. He came up from Gunnedah. He's moved to Newcastle, I say around 9 months ago. And he knew a couple of people at our gym, and he'd been training probably a similar time to me. I reckon maybe 1 or 2 years less. And it's funny, me and him are like really similar in sort of our strengths and weaknesses. So I really enjoy getting in a bit of training with him. But yeah, I think he's really, like, since getting there, he really stepped up his game as well. And we did all the open workouts together and kind of pushed each other through that. So it was really good. Even getting to, like, especially the dumbbell burpee box jump over workout in the open, like we kind of set a pace for each other, and we're like, got about halfway through it, and like, okay, this is or 2 minutes in, and we're like, okay, this is the pace that we're going to hold. And we sort of held it all the way through. So I think we carried each other through that. But I really enjoy training like with everyone in that team. And we've actually got a Pro-Am team as well, who are kind of sort of the guys sort of up and coming at our gym, who are keen to sort of step out there and do a bit of a competition, and again, like fly the flag for the community as well. And Yeah, just a really good sort of little crew of, yeah, there's probably about sort of 10 to 15 fairly competitive people at our gym that just like really want to improve in CrossFit in general. So yeah, it's a really good training environment.
Does it feel different, like the training, like how you're attacking the training going as a team member compared to if you were, say, going as an individual? How has your training changed? Like,
To be honest, not that much. We haven't sort of put all our eggs in the basket of like we're going team and we're trying to sort of qualify for the CrossFit Games. It's more we're going to go team. We're going up there to have a really good weekend and sort of show what we can do, but not necessarily go, we're going to be the best team out on the floor. For all of us, there's still, for each team member, and then even Jake as well, who was in the side but isn't now, we've sort of got so many things that as individuals we need to improve upon before we're a chance of being sort of competitive at that semi-finals level. So it's been really individual. Just after the Open, actually it would have been just the week after quarterfinals individuals, I signed up with a new coach online, and
oh, really?
like I knew what was lacking for me was my strength side of things. So it was kind of going into work on that, and then finishing the quarterfinals. It was kind of my numbers were like, okay, you need to get stronger, and that's about all you need to do. So that's where my focus has been. So and for the other guys, for the girls, it's a lot of work on their gymnastics. And then, for Hayden and Jacob, for Jacob, it's more first getting over the injury, and then for him building strength as well. And for Hayden, it's just about building an engine. So individually, we've all got little goals that we want to achieve, and it's not so much let's pour this into a team. It's let's go up, have a really good weekend, and enjoy it. Because I think we'd probably all be going up to watch regardless. So to be out on that floor is going to be cool anyway.
You mentioned that you got a new coach. Who are you working with now?
Yeah, so for the last, probably is the last 3 to 4 years, like Dan and I have sort of been like following along with Dan George, my coach in Bathurst, had sort of been following along with Misfit Athletics. So we've been doing that for the last little bit. And the way we'd sort of do it was we'd take the top level Misfit program and he'd change things up for me as needed. And then with me sort of moving away, it got a little bit more difficult to do that, just sort of not being in person with him every day, having him there to sort of watch me and go, nah, let's change this, let's change that, or let's do this piece instead of that piece. It sort of was making it a little bit harder. And for me, I sort of thought if I don't do something like this now and sign up and do a little bit of remote coaching, then it might be something I get 2 years down the track and I'm like, oh, I kind of wish I'd done that 2 years ago. So I jumped into that, and I'm been partnered up with Gabe Garcia. He's writes the master's program for Misfit, and he's got a couple of like really good athletes under him. He's coached like Paige Shemenza at the games the last few years, and he's been really good. We didn't get off to the best start. I don't think I've ever been really sort of injured or like hurt myself. And on day one of the brand new programming, I fell off a box and rolled my ankle, and I was out for my whole first week. So I messaged him and said, I'm certainly not one of these people who carries on about an injury or anything like that. And he's like, it's all good. I don't think any less of you. So, but I've really enjoyed it. It's a lot of sort of focusing on fixing up my movements on the barbell, and even as far as just breaking down like my back squat and things like that, to be able to get stronger, just putting the pieces in place. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's awesome. So obviously you guys Torian Pros this weekend. When are you guys all planning on heading up?
Yeah, we've finally got all our flights, accommodation, our trips sorted. We're all getting picked up from the gym at 9 o'clock on Thursday. So we'll fly up Thursday morning, hopefully get there around lunch, go do a bit of grocery shopping, just make sure we've got all the essentials for the weekend. And then the plan is to go sort of a little bit of a sort of training session, but not crazy, just sort of loosen the body up, maybe have a little stretch in the hotel gym, get a sauna in, get an early dinner and a good night's sleep, and then hit it from Friday. So yeah, straight on that runner.
Actually, on the weekend, Todd came over and we did that workout. The male, female, we did it way under the time cap, and we're not. I mean, Todd's an elite athlete, but we're not, and we're all just So you guys, like, everyone's going to be able to smoke it unless there's a team that has never been on one. They might struggle.
Yeah, exactly.
It is a different kind of game, like running on the assault runners. Like, I run so slow, but then Jay runs so fast on them. Yet if we were outside, I would flog him in a running workout. But on that assault runner, I cannot for the life of me run fast on it. And I
still think it's definitely a beast to get used to. And I think like being a little bit bigger as well would help. I certainly reckon that. But that's why I'm kind of keen to watch how the individuals go, to see like some of the bigger boys, to see how like Khan and Royce go against like some of the smaller guys. So I think it'll be pretty interesting. Oh yeah, that's ridiculous. That's
1K was okay, and it was like
5 is insane.
Have you tried that workout yet?
Oh God, no! I will. No way. No.
You just wait for that leg pump. So
I hate running on a good day.
Well, no, you feel good on the runner because it's only the first bit. You're only on there for about 4 and a bit minutes. Then you get onto the bike and you're halfway through the bike and you're just like, oh my God, the lactic is full on. And then I got on the bike and every one of us, when we got onto the rower, we were just like, my legs.
That final 500 is going to be filthy.
Yeah, and my legs were so swollen after. I was honestly like, this is hell. And I was like, I can't move my quads. And Todd, I think he went on next. No, Jay went on, and then Todd went on, then Joey, this young kid, he took the other female's position. And like Toddy was holding like a hectic pace on that bike erg, and he was fine.
Yeah, he can.
Like, the rest of us
quads of steel, that bloke. Quads of steel.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute friend.
He's got massive quads. But yeah, and we also did the variation of the drag rope one, and we did that under the time cap as well. So,
yeah, do the elite teams do that? I don't.
So you guys do. It's
Echo together.
5 calories on the Rogue Echo bike. So you have a male and a female. I'm pretty sure, male and female. And then obviously you can't move on to the drag rope double unders until
both are done
on the bike. Then one of you does 50 drag rope double unders, the other one does 50 drag rope double unders, 50-50. And then it's 50 alternating dumbbell hang snatches. And we went unbroken on the dumbbell hang snatches. So
right. So it's not too bad.
It's not that bad. The only place people are going to get tripped up on that workout is how hard do you want to go on the Rogue Echo bike for starters. Like, we weren't crushing ourselves, and we did it on the bike erg and the ski erg because our salt bike had flat batteries, thank God.
Yeah.
And then Joey and I, we did like massive sets on the drag rope double unders, and so did Todd, but Jay really struggled on them. So they took longer to finish it than what Joey and I did. So
yeah, right. Yeah.
No, like, it's not a hard work. Like, you just got to go hard, and whether or not you can maintain having that feeling gassed after getting off the Echo bike. But I mean, like I said, we did it under the cap, and it wasn't hard to do. So
yeah, one of you can skip really well under fatigue. You're kind of sweet because the other one can have a rest and then go. So
so
I think it would be
stronger.
Looking forward to it.
Skips, you would put them to go first on the drag rope double unders to give that other person time. So it wasn't that bad. So
no, it'll be good. I think the workouts look really good across the board. Like, especially like I think the individual program looks awesome. Like, I think it's definitely, once they get the top 3 out of that, it's going to be like a really good indication of like, I suppose for our region where we're at. So I think it'll be really cool. I think they've done a good job putting together the programming and stuff like that, and then releasing the workouts too. Like, even I think every time like a competition puts up workouts, you kind of and ahhing to see, all right, how many questions are there going to be? Are we going to be sitting in a briefing for 4 hours? But yeah, they've done a pretty good job with sort of getting the workouts out there and any questions sort of sorted beforehand.
Yeah. So I think their like professionalism with that is really well done. And I guess now that they're a sanctioned event of CrossFit, they probably do need to have standards. I mean, when I was at ACC last year, so many people were annoyed because their whole theme was unknown and unknowable, which means that they didn't release any workouts. They didn't show anything. Like athletes had no idea of timings, nothing. They didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Like, did you compete at that one?
Nah, that was the one. So we went to China in December, and then I was planning on coming back and doing the ACC, and then after sort of jumping straight into the gym, and then like I had a little bit of an injury with my knee as well, and I just kind of was like, you know what, it got about sort of 3 weeks out, and I just thought it's not worth going up there like competing sort of sub my best, and then either like possibly hurting myself even more. So I ended up pulling out of that, which I was kind of filthy about once sort of COVID had all blown up, because that was the last competition just before it all happened. And then here I am thinking it's all right, I'll get myself right for Down Under and go down to Wollongong and have a fun one down there. And yeah, then that got cancelled, and then pretty much everything was cancelled for a year. So it's been a big build up, but I'm pretty keen for this weekend.
Yes, I'm so sad I'm not going to be there. I wish I could come.
Yeah, you guys aren't going up?
No.
Just be filthy. Yeah.
Filthy. I'm very jealous. So, yeah.
Is there talk of live streaming? Like, are they doing that? Is that happening?
I don't know. I really hope they do. Like, if they don't, I'll be very sad. But I mean, the CrossFit Challenge, they're live streaming it. So,
yeah. I wonder if it's up to the event to live stream it, or whether CrossFit has a.
Well, if it's anything like the sanctionals, so at ACC, it was up to their individual events to live stream it. But then
they didn't do it
because their whole theme was unknown and unknowable. We're like, no, we're not going to live stream it. People can pay to come here. Not realizing not everyone can travel. Like, you know, and the Gold Coast is a bloody expensive place to go. So
yeah, exactly.
It's empty. And people were like, they were even going around and people were live, like streaming it off their phones, like Facebook living it. And they were going around the stadiums and telling people to turn off.
People to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's weird. That does nothing for your brand and stuff like that as well.
Not at all. So, but I mean, Torian was, I'm pretty sure that they were live streaming
last year. Yeah, so, and commentated, I think, for like the top 2 heats of the Indies and maybe a heat of the teams or something like that as well.
Remember they had Rory McInerney or whatever his name is, and that someone.
Yeah.
So they were both emceeing and stuff. But I know that the guy who owns CrossFit Gold Coast, I believe, he is. He's going to be the one who emcees.
Does all the commentating.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah. But I mean,
it'll be a really good weekend.
Well, if it is live streamed, I'll definitely be watching. So yeah, it'll be good. Who do you reckon is going to podium from the teams?
Oh, those teams out of New Zealand just look freakish. Like,
yeah.
Even some of the scores they were putting up in there, pretty insane. I still think like Adam Manzi's team, they did a really good job in the quarterfinals. I can't remember where they finished, but he's
third.
They were up there, weren't they? Yeah. I reckon their team will be a really good shot. I think he's just taken or a while ago, but sort of started building his gyms. I think he might even have a few, but I reckon he's a pretty ferocious sort of competitor. I reckon when he gets out on that competition floor, he'll lift his crew and stuff like that. So I've competed against him a couple of times, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy sitting next to him on the rower one time, but as soon as we got off the rower and we were on to burpee box jumps, that was a little bit more in my favour. But he's really good, and I reckon his team might be a good shot at taking it out.
Are you talking about Urban?
Yeah, that's what they're called. Yeah.
So they have Johan and Caitlin Benziel, and then they have Adam Mancy and his missus. I can't remember what her first.
Yeah. Well, couple power, like two couple.
Yeah, I've been trying to organise one of these with them, but around their kids and training, and both of them gyms and stuff. So they are co-owners of those urban gyms, and
right.
Trying to get anything from them is like Caitlin's just like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, but
they'd be a bit hectic, But I reckon they'll go really well, especially because some of the workouts that kind of come out, you're like, oh, they'll smoke that. Like the boys are obviously freakishly strong, and the girls are as well. But like they're all just like been doing CrossFit for so long, so they should carve up in a fair few of those CrossFit events too.
Absolutely.
But I think the teams will be interesting to see how it goes. There was a couple of them that did really well in those quarters, especially like on the worldwide leaderboard. They did fairly well.
So you've got 64 Army Gold, who came first? And they came first by 5 points over Reebok CrossFit Frankston.
Yeah, they carved up. Yeah, and the Frankston side's pretty good as well. I think like Jay Crouch's brother's in it, and he was like maybe top 40 or top 50 in the Indy quarterfinals. So whatever's in the bloody water down at Frankston, I need to get something like that. Those boys are looking real strong. I think like the culture, the culture that they've got down there is like they all sort of follow that one program, and they're all sort of, as much as it's like we don't compete with each other every day, we're still there to train and improve. But when someone else is sitting on a rower pulling 135s, you're like, all right, well, I'm going to try and do the same, and then hang on to this barbell as long as I can after. So I think, that environment that they've got down there, and there's a reason like Rob Forte is coaching this year, because he knows that either the team or Jay individually can really make a nudge at it. So I think like with him at the helm, you wouldn't, you certainly, I think they'll do fairly well.
I think so too. But I would definitely not go past those 64 Army teams. And even if you look at the individual females team, Todd and I were talking about this yesterday, probably half of the field is in the top. Is from New Zealand.
Yeah. Yeah, they're freakish.
Elite New Zealand people there is. And they're program. They're all following Army, CrossFit, away side. So Laura Clifton's gym, I reckon that their team will do pretty well.
Yeah, righto.
So I think
I haven't heard too much about them. We went and did a bit of a team's training weekend with the crew from Greater West and then the crew from Rec Gym, and had a good sort of training weekend down there. Like Mitch and the Rec Gym crew, I think they've been doing teams for probably regional teams for the last, I don't know, I reckon like probably 5 years.
Yeah.
And then, with Timmy and his crew making team as well, we thought, we'll jump in and have a team training weekend. And I really enjoyed it. It was good. With I'd never sort of used a 4-person worm before, so to jump on that and have a bit of a play around was good fun. So I'm looking forward to doing more on it, but also seeing what it's like when you're in a competition, not just practicing it in a gym.
Oh yeah, different. Especially when you're like, you can't afford to make any time mistakes with one of those worms either, because if you go have a look at Matt McLeod's missus, her stories, I don't know if it's still up there, but they're using the worm and she just gets tumbled over so many times, and like one stage sitting on her head and all her teammates are all over here and she's just like
people are just getting crushed. And that's where you get some of the funniest videos of the weekend is in the team when they're on the worms. People get poleaxed by a worm.
Yeah. All right. So after Torian this year, what are your plans for the next season?
For me, I really want to make it back on that indie side of things. It's hard. Like I don't think I made too many mistakes this year. Like I look back at the quarterfinals, not so much the Open. Like the Open was just do a job, get in the quarterfinals and go from there, and sort of try and prioritize training around the Open. And for me, like this first year of having my affiliate do the Open, so it was all about trying to get everyone in the gym, and we had nearly 80 people do the Open in our gym. Wow. So that was a cool sort of milestone. But yeah, as far as the quarterfinals, like I look back at all of my events that I did through that, and I still am really proud of the results I got in that. It was just, I remember finishing the front squat, sitting down, sort of taking off my lifters, and someone going, geez, you got to be stoked with how that front squat was. And for about 4.5 seconds, I was really stoked with how the front squat went. And then I just thought about it. I was like, I know like exactly where that's going to place me, and it's going to be just outside that sort of 200. Like there's going to be 200 people that front squat more weight than me, and it just copping that many points on one event, it hurts you too much. So if I can shore up that strength side of things, like I know I'm willing to hurt a bit. Like that, I think the biggest test of the hurt was the wall ball row, and that was my best event. So I know I can do that, and not having to spend a whole year going, all right, I've got to make sure I'm fit enough and tough enough on a rower and a wall ball and burpees and thrusters and all of those things, and going, I just need to shore up like my strength and make sure that's happening. Yeah. Even like a massive weakness for me has been strict handstand push-ups, and that first workout it was only 30 of them, granted, but that workout was kind of like, it went really well. Pistols are another really bad movement for me, and that event went really well. I had one pistol to go, and I blame my shoes for coming undone during the workout for me not finishing that. But I was really happy with that result. Obviously, the wall ball row workout went really well, and then even the snatch burpee box jump over one, I was like happy with the time I got, considering sort of how heavy that snatch is for that many reps. Less reps and other places where I can make up ground would help me, but that's short of an event. It certainly punches me. But yeah, just going back into that strength thing and making sure that I've fixed up all of those things, and then building the fitness up sort of just before the Open, through the Open, to sort of peak at that quarterfinal. So I think I'll be by the time I get there, I think I'll be looking for something that's like, cool, this is a heavy just lift, and it probably won't pop up, but I think for the last few years I've just been hoping that it wasn't there. But like if I turn up there and it's not there, it's say a heavy squat clean workout that has 300 toes to bar in it and a whole heap of I don't know, burpees or something, I'll be ready for that as well. So just fixing up the weaknesses and jumping back into that top 30, I think is where I want to be.
Yeah, well, I definitely think you've got the motivation and the drive to do it. So, and your training work ethic is definitely up there. So there's no doubt that you'll be able to do it. So yeah.
Fingers crossed it'll happen. Fingers crossed.
You'll do it for sure. Anything else you want to add before we go?
No, I think that's about it. For anyone watching who's sort of keen to check it out, definitely if you can get to the Torian Pro, get up to it. I think it'll be like an awesome event, not only just inside the arena, but even watching some of those other divisions out there. I'm really excited. We got like one of the young girls from back in Bathurst. She's in the teenagers ones. I think it's the 14s, 15s girls. So I'll be sort of chucking her supporter shirt on and cheering for her all weekend as well. So pretty excited for her to get that opportunity. And I think it's really good. Like even having the Masters up there as well, I think it's going to be a sick weekend of like watching, but also like I think the crowd will be, with all of those divisions competing and everyone sort of being in the stadium, everyone's just going to be absolutely pumped watching the individuals, especially like that Saturday night stuff. So I think as much as I will be wanting to sit there and enjoy that and watch that, it'll kill me sitting there watching that going, geez, I wish I was out on that floor, but it'll just fuel the fire for next year. But
at least you get to still go out on the floor. So, I mean,
exactly.
Scenario, you might not have even had a team to go on, or you could have been.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Could be leaving all the gear at home anyway.
Right, I'm just taking the money for beers.
Yeah, exactly. I think there'll be a few of them on Sunday anyway, so it won't matter.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for chatting with me, and
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
weekend. Tell the rest of your team I said good luck as well. And yeah, hopefully there's some live stream. Just make sure you like put some stuff up on social media so people can follow. So what is your social media? I'll put it down the bottom.
Freezing Hot Brodie Scott is mine. And yeah, Jim Freezing Hot CrossFit. Yeah, the name kind of just, that kind of just happened. I one day went, oh, that kind of fits together. And I checked whether it was available on Instagram, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to run with that now. So yeah, it just works.
Brodie Scott. It just rolls off the tongue.
Definitely. People yell it from across the gym now. So
yeah.
They don't even call me Brodie. They say the whole thing.
All right. Well, make sure you put up heaps of stuff for us to follow. And yeah, good luck with the weekend.
Will do. Bloody oath. Thank you very much.